They have completely failed to live up to their responsibilities to do.
The state accuses the Union County Sheriff of breaking a deal that let him keep his badge. Now they want to take it away from him, preventing him from serving as sheriff. Now this all stems back to a cheating scandal we first reported this time last year.
The sheriff admitted knowing his deputies were getting taxpayer money for cheating on a state test. And 10 News investigative reporter Cole Sullivan explains the new accusations and what's next in this case. Cole.
Rob and John, after that cheating scandal, they made a deal. The sheriff agreed to work with a different county to change his department's training practices. Also, the chief deputy's ability to work as a law enforcement officer was suspended for 6 months. But the state says they didn't follow that deal.
We are here today because that did not happen at all.
State investigators want the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, POST, to pull the certification of Union County Sheriff Billy Breeding and his chief deputy. Meeting in Nashville, the investigators say the pair broke a deal struck after they admitted knowing their deputies cheated on a state training test. A report from the state comptroller shows when deputies got questions wrong, the Union County chief deputy confessed he'd reset the assessment multiple times until they got it right. The training company says the test typically takes between 5 and 10 minutes, but the sheriff and most of his deputies finished it in less than 60 seconds. Under the deal, the state told the sheriff to upgrade his department's training.
I was under the impression that they were supposed to start doing more in-person training as opposed to the online training.
His lawyer says the department did make changes. He pointed out the deal never says they had to move it in person. As a punishment for the cheating, the state also suspended Chief Deputy Brian Smith. But investigators Friday called a former officer who says Smith kept working in law enforcement during that suspension.
Was he in your chain of command, sir?
At that time, I figured he was, ma'am.
Okay. Had no reason to believe otherwise.
No, ma'am.
Smith's lawyers say he didn't wear a badge or carry a gun. His work was administrative only.
And he, in fact, in no way acted as a law enforcement officer.
The commission decided to wait until next month to hear the sheriff's side of the story. The state says the complaint that led their investigators to look into this case was filed by a candidate running against the sheriff this summer. A political twist to the story. Robin, John.
Cole Sullivan with the story for us. Cole, thank you.